What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Jeff Kaplan just gave an interview, and in it he talked about a wide variety of things, but the thing that stuck out the most is he really seemed to be hinting that we were going to be getting a guild system by the end of the year. Recently, we've been getting a bunch of information about some of the endorsement rewards and other things from a variety of interviews, and today Jeff Kaplan gave one. It's a fairly long interview. It's about 25 minutes. It's on another channel. I'm going to put the link to that down below so you can check out the entire video if you want. In this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the high points of what he was talking about and also what it can mean. So the first thing, the biggest thing, is he definitely absolutely seemed like he was hinting at a guild system. A little while ago, he told us that we were going to get 3 new social systems, and we weren't told specifically what they were going to be, but I predicted that we were going to get a player rating system, a looking for group system, and then the third one was going to be a guild system. Well, we got the player rating in the form of endorsements, we got the looking for group system, and I'm really thinking that we are going to get a guild system. And there's kind of a logical progression to all of this. The first step is you need to be able to tell at a glance whether or not a player is going to be helpful or toxic. In order to do that, you need a player rating system, which is effectively what the endorsements are. If someone has a very high endorsement rating, then it's likely they're going to be cooperative with the rest of the team. Once you have that information, you can then start putting together different groups with the looking for group system. So you can tell at a glance someone who you've never seen before, you've never played before. Once they join your group, you can say, okay, this guy has a really high endorsement rating. He may not be the best player in the world, but I know that he's at least going to try his best and cooperate with the rest of the team. So then you can start forming relationships with a lot more players that you may not have in the past. Now, the next step and the final one is that guild system. So now that you have the player ratings and you can tell at a glance whether or not someone is going to be helpful or harmful, and you've already established these relationships with other players in the looking for group system, now you can start inviting all of those players who have similar interests into your guild and start expanding it. During the interview, there was a direct question to Jeff Kaplan, is there going to be guilds? He gave the most Blizzard answer I've ever seen. He didn't confirm it, he didn't deny it, but if you look, Jeff Kaplan must be incredibly bad at bluffing in poker because his face kind of gave it all away. If we're not getting a guild system, then there is going to be something extremely similar to it. I would bet that it's probably going to have a lot of the same kind of mechanisms that you would see in World of Warcraft, simply because a bunch of the team came from that game, including Jeff Kaplan himself. So their whole idea that Blizzard and Jeff Kaplan keep talking about over and over again, especially during this interview, is he wants to give players more and more control over their own match experience. The looking for group system is a part of that, where it allows you to create these small groups for individual matches that allow you to conform to whatever sort of strategy you want to go with, but the larger picture is going to be that guild system where you have a huge pool of players who all have the same kind of ideas, the same kind of mentality and goals, and you can work together to all try to climb and help each other up the ladder. Moving on, there's a bunch of other things he talked about that are kind of quality of life, but they would be really nice to have. The first is a ready check. This is really important when you're queuing with groups. And now that they're pushing the game more and more into this group queuing, where you have the looking for group and the guild system potentially, this is going to be more important because you need to make sure that everyone who is in your group is sitting at their desk and ready to play when the game starts. Other games like CSGO already have this, so I'm glad that this is a high priority for them and they're finally going to be adding it. In fact, he said that it almost made it to the most recent PTR patch, so I would fully expect that it's going to be on the next PTR. The looking for group system also has a bunch of potential changes coming up. The first is an auto queue after the group forms, so once it's created, everybody automatically gets put into the queue, but you'll still have that ready check so you don't have to worry in case someone gets up. The other thing is you might be able to have more restrictive requirements for your group. So right now they made it very general, so it's kind of like in a testing phase. They want to see how people like it. Right now you can just ask for tank, damage healer, or unspecified, and that's pretty much, it's really general. But they're looking at the possibility of adding it so that you can request a specific character. Like, if you're going to put in this spot, you have to play Reinhardt, or you have to play Mercy, or you have to play whatever it happens to be. But again, this is something that people can opt into. Because it's looking for a group, it's not like a forced matchmaking system. When you join the group, you are basically agreeing to these requirements. So you kind of know what you're getting into. Now, as far as an actual role queue system, Jeff Kaplan kind of reversed himself on what they've been saying in the past, where it was almost they don't want any kind of forced meta, they don't want a role queue system because they thought it was bad, but like with a bunch of other things, they seem to be changing their mind, and now Jeff Kaplan seems quite open to the idea of a role queue being added to the game. I think it all kind of hinges on how good the looking for group system works and how good the potential guild system works. But it went from a definite no to kind of a maybe. Some other stuff they're looking at changing is the career profiles, because there's a lot of information, but it's not really displayed in a very helpful manner. So that is likely to get an overhaul. As far as the profiles themselves being private and public and all that sort of stuff, there was kind of a big back and forth about whether or not people should be able to do that. Now, I personally think that being able to hide the profiles is going to cause more harm than good, and a lot of other people seem to be thinking the same thing. So Blizzard is looking at some more advanced options for making your profile public. Basically, instead of showing absolutely everything, maybe there might be some select things that you can show, and that way it might kind of like alleviate the situation. Also, he talked about how they had these drastic, huge, sweeping changes for the training room, but he didn't go into any details, unfortunately. There was also a little bit of a joking conversation about Hammond and whether or not he's going to be coming out as a playable character. Jeff Kaplan really didn't give out any information, but truth be told, no one cares about Hammond. Jetpack Cat is where it's at. So let us know when Jetpack Cat is coming out, and then I'll be interested. No one cares about Hammond. Anyways, guys, so that is about to wrap it up. What do you think about all of these potential changes? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my Discord server. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links for that stuff are down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault. Also, special thanks to all my Patreon supporters for helping to make this all possible. If you'd like to see what kind of cool rewards you can get for supporting the channel, check the links on screen and down below.